I ain't gonna lie, bro. Hebrew Israelites burn me up so bad, bro. Cause like, how can they sit there and read the Bible and think about all those things and get to a point where they think that the people who enslaved them will be enslaved again? Like, you're using the Bible just as people did 400 years ago to enslave y'all. And y'all think that it's a good thing for us to get enslaved because it's equality? Bruh, I could understand if those people lived 600 years and they're still here. I have nothing to do with that. And I will not, I mean not, be one of those people that are like kneel down to you or kiss your shoe. Oh, bro, you got me messed up, bro. Not I, bro. You gonna have to kill me or unalive me, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going at all. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakwak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. So, all right, in this lesson, one of the elders from I believe it was South Carolina, but he put up he had a short clip that was beautiful because right now the spirit has been staying on these like these false prophets, these phony Israelite teachers, so again, just to go and point out something that's very important to you brothers and sisters out there, to you Akim Akwa, all right, of what to be aware of and what to look out for, all right? Because remember, this is not like, hey, we're trying to get the most hits, the most likes, and we told them, and we're the only ones who are smart and everyone's fucking stupid. No, it's just to make a correction so you guys can so you guys who really believe in the truth, you guys can know what to look out for and what to be aware of. Because remember, it's all for edification purposes. That's what it's about. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you guys. It's all about the elect out there. All right, because this is what the Lord said. This is why Yahweh Shai told Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. Feed my lambs, feed my sheep. He told him 3 times because it's very, very important. Because not only do the sheep need to be fed, because they'll go starving, right? Because out here in the valley of the shadow of death, come on. There's nothing but lies and confusion out here. You guys know the deal, See? So, but not only that, but the sheep need to also be protected. You can't just tell the sheep, all right, go over there. You got to guide them. You got to watch them. All right? Because a keeper of a sheep, you can't just expect the sheep just to go, like let's say you take the sheep for a walk. You can't just expect the sheep to go back to your house, to your barn, wherever you're at. You have to watch them because sometimes they kind of wander off. They drift off. You got to tell, hey, come back over here. Get over here. Where are you going? You got to watch them. See, you can't just like, all right, go over there. No, you gotta see. All right, well, let's see if they go. Let's see if they listen. You gotta observe at the same time, and also comfort, because who doesn't have bad days? Who doesn't have? We all have good days and bad days. So when people feel down, they just feel like, because there's times like that where people just kind of feel like giving up or just like, damn, So that's where that comfort comes in, to build up the sheep. Okay, to build you guys up to keep on going. Because remember, it's not just all right. Oh, I told them. Well, fuck. Hey, because it's also building up. How many people sometimes go through hardships and they're like, damn. So it also comforts the flock as well. You see? Yeah. So this is just to make a point again on the Captain Tazariak from Captain Tazariak, and also that group Genesis. All right, how they teach that salvation is for the heathen. Okay, Captain Tazariak, he's over there just remember, he's over there doing like radio shows or like stuff like that, radio stuff like that with like YouTube. But he's going on there with, remember, like that dude, damn, what was that dude's name? Salakia, when he went on the air the other day, what was that? He went on the air the other day with a small hat, and then recently he went on air with the Christian, which, you remember Apostle Hart said it makes zero sense because it went nowhere, Those of you guys that seen that clip, all they were doing was just laughing the whole time like hyenas. There was no edification came out of that. And you can tell that, because they're both, they were just trying to like kind of like get along because they were both like on a talk show together or whatever you may call it. But they didn't see eye to eye. This is why the scriptures was written. You can't be equally yoked but non-believers, because especially when it comes to the Lord, okay, people are going to believe in what they believe. All right, this is exactly why the apostles say if somebody can't get it, we're moving on, because if the Lord doesn't wake that person up, it's a complete waste of time. All right, and right there in this clip, which I showed you guys in the beginning, how that Edomite, okay, looked like an Edomite, he said that he's not gonna that why should he go into slavery? It wasn't him. And we're gonna show you by using the scriptures that you're gonna pay, because that's the way your forefathers. And here's another news flash, because he's not calling on the Lord. Okay, so he's the so-called white man, because remember the so-called white man. Remember, that term didn't come about to the late 1600s, 1680, and it came out of Virginia in America. Okay, something called the Bacon's Rebellion. Okay, that's where that term, that concept, so-called, white person, but they are, in reality, they are the Edomites. You see that they're reddish. All right, so once again, so that Edomite, because he's not calling on the Lord, he don't believe in the Lord and all that. So we're just going, he's an Edomite, but he's saying that that he don't understand. He says, he gets well worked up by the Israelites. Yeah, because this Israelite truth is bringing heat to our enemies. Why? Because they're puffed up full of pride, because they think that they don't have to pay for nothing that they're doing. All right, but that's okay. Okay, because remember, what does Romans 3:3? What does Romans 3:3 say? You know what? Let's get it. There we go. Real fast, just to show you guys. But the reason why I went there is because Romans. Okay, so the reason why I went there is because and showed you guys is because this is why exactly the apostles and teachers of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai tell you, false prophets, that it's a complete waste of time to try to go out there and with these TV shows or whatever, these radio shows, with non-believers. It's not going to get nowhere. Okay, this is why there's no use. It's a complete waste of time. And remember, you're not going to convince the heathen that they're going to slavery. So that's one of the main points why I showed the clip. Okay, why show the clip? Okay, but why? It's because Esau's not going to believe it, and he don't want to accept it. Okay, remember, okay, the Edomites, they don't want to accept the fact that they're going to slavery. They're pissed. See, remember, he's like, oh, I'm not going to bow down and kiss your boots, and he shouldn't. Not until Yahushua gets here. You know, because remember, the Israelites, we're still in our captivity. So you false Israelites out there that are having Edomites like kiss your boots and stuff like that, you're going way the fuck off. Okay, that's way off. Yes, Esau's in trouble, but when the Lord comes and puts his ass down, okay, until then, he's still ruling right now. This is why the true teachers, we're not buying guns and, you know, trying to, hurt people and stuff, because it's the Lord. Same thing like with the Pharaoh. When the Lord comes and says, that's it, that's it. So right now, the Lord is telling them through his prophets. But remember, the Lord and the angels is going to take this man down. All right? So that's off right there. Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Question mark. Like that young man in the beginning of this clip, because he didn't believe, right? Question mark. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? So just because some heathens and Edomites don't believe, even 2/3 of our own people, okay? Just because they don't believe, it's like, yeah, right, that's bugged out, They're a bunch of losers or whatever. That's fine. But remember, that don't change the reality of what's gonna happen. Remember, because the so-called spaceships, they're there. Okay? Hey, you don't believe it? Ask CIA. Shit, they know. Shit, You kidding me? Ask them. They'll tell you. Huh? Or they may tell you, or they may not, Hey. It's just because you don't believe, spaceships, whatever, here we go. The spaceships are still there. So just because you say, that loca, spaceship's still there, retard. So you see, so it don't matter, because this truth, okay, this truth is this is the Lord's word. It's not just, it's just a group of guys and they're just mad, and no, this is reality, baby. Okay, see, let's go back to 1 Corinthians. First Corinthians. First Corinthians. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10. Now I beseech you. Okay, so Apostle Paul, he beseech means to beg. Brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, that ye all speak the same thing. Right. Okay, so this is why you can't just wing it. You can't say, well, that's just my opinion. Well, you're not speaking what the Lord's saying. You're not going according to scripture. You're doing your own thing. To show you that these are not men of the Lord. Okay, these are not true prophets sent by the Lord. Because they're doing their own thing. He said, that's just my opinion. It's like, yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's your opinion. Alright, so right there in those examples, because Captain Zariak, remember, he's saying that's just my opinion. But see how he, Captain Zariak, how he's going, he's going to like different talk shows or radio shows, whatever you want to say it, however you want to call it. With these, he's going with these unbelievers. He's going with Christians. Okay, on that Christian show, there was like Muslims asking him questions like, "Yo, you're not gonna go nowhere with Muslims and Christians." I mean, it's not gonna go nowhere. You see. All right, so that's just to prove the point. And then when he goes on there with the heathen, it's like, you're not going to convince the heathen. Okay, you're not going to convince them Remember, because they're in power right now. Because anybody ruling, okay, because anybody in rulership, who wants to give up their kingdom? Okay, name one person who's ruling, who's the boss, who wants to give up their position. Say, oh yeah, you know what? I'll give up my position. You know, I don't want to rule no more. You guys can have it. You know, name one person who will do that. Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, because you think they want to give up their rulership? Hell no. Hell no. This is why Esau has all this stuff out here. Agents and AI. Hey, you hear about these retards? Not to go so much out of topic, but you see how these Edomites, those AIs have been watching. How there's been this AI race, and you hear the people who are working there. They want to like sue Esau. Because they're like, hey man, this AI is gonna kill all humanity, but we're still gonna do it because we're gonna get rich. That just shows you. You telling me this man's not a retard? I mean, come on. But once again, Esau, speak for yourself, because you're not gonna kill the elect, and it don't matter how advanced the AI is out there. Remember, okay, the elect are protected by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the angels. It's beyond your comprehension. Yeah, you may have strong AI that is strong to you retards, to you clowns, to you retarded Edomites and heathens. Yeah, to you, But to the Lord, remember, the Lord gave you that little power. He gave you that little something. The Lord said, go ahead and play with that. Go ahead and jack yourself up, See? So remember, you guys, when these Edomites and people in the world say, "Oh, that AI is gonna kill everybody," shouts, "No, it ain't." Remember, the angels are here. Hell no, because your strongest military, your strongest AI is nothing compared to Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the angels and the 144,000. Nothing. Okay, remember, this is power beyond your comprehension. It's beyond. Okay, it's beyond your imagination out there to you mere mortals. It's beyond. They're talking about the Lord here. The Lord gave you heathens that little power. See, so that's just to make comfort the flock, and just remember that, okay? Just a refresher. So when these leaders say, "Oh yeah, this AI is gonna kill everybody," like, yeah, right. It may kill you clowns, but it's not gonna kill the elect. But that just, but just look at that. That just goes to show you how retarded the heathens are. Because why would you create something that's gonna kill everybody? You telling me he's not a dumbass? Just pointing things out, Hey, you decide. You telling me that's not retarded? Hey, we'll leave it right there. You guys decide. See? This is why the Lord says, don't worry about our enemies. Because yeah, they may be rich. They may have AI, but they're retards. They're pedophiles. Who the hell sleeps with children? The hell? Who the hell sleeps with men? Men with men? Come on. You're telling me this dude's not a cave dweller? Come on. Anyway, but that is the point, because that Edomite in the beginning of this clip, which I showed you guys, he said, he's like, no, I don't give a damn. He's like, because he didn't believe it. Because he goes, that wasn't me. It was you. All right, because there's something called reincarnation. All right, there's something called reincarnation. All right, and also you got to pay for the things of your forefathers, just like us Israelites did. Okay, because you're going down as a nation. Same thing with us Israelites. We all went down. We all went down. We all went down. We all went into slavery, didn't we? Okay, same thing with you Edomites. You're all going down. You're all going down. The Lord, He takes you down by your nation. Not just by, okay, well, a couple guys over there. No, it's the whole nation. That's what you got to understand. You see? 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Yahushai. Okay, because Apostle Paul, right there, beseech means beg. I beg you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Yahushai, because it says Jesus Christ. right there. So the Lord's name is Yahushai. Christ means anointed. So you'll see hear brothers say Yahushai Hamashiach. Hamashiach, it means the anointed. Okay, because that's what that word Christ means. That ye all speak the same thing. Yeah, because is Captain Cesariak in Genesis speaking the same thing as the true prophets? No, they're saying that the heathens can receive salvation, so they're not speaking the same thing. So that shows you right there that okay, yup, that they're false prophets. It's just, remember, it's not just to show you that oh, these dudes are retards and they're look at he's a dumbass. Like no, it's just to show you that he's not being accurate. Okay, he's not a true prophet because he's not speaking the same thing. Okay, that salvation is only for the Israelites according to the scriptures. He's not. They're saying that salvation is for the heathen, so they're not speaking the same thing. So right there's already a tall sign. Okay, an evident token that like that way. So those of you that are watching, you guys care to learn the right way. These are the red flags that you look for. Like okay, all right, yeah, see that? Yep. That's not making sense. Like he's going off. Okay? Like that. So that way you guys know, okay, like it's how to guide you in this thing. You know, what to look for. Like, oh, all right, okay, you know. So you gotta know. You see? Alright? And that there be no divisions among you. There it is. Because alright, let's go back to if you guys seen recently on Apostle Tahar's channel. I believe he did it yesterday. Okay, where he uploaded that video of Captain Tazariak. He had that interview with the Christians, with that Christian guy, you know, and man, because they're completely divided because they didn't agree with each other. They were just trying to be cool, you know, because like with each other you can tell how like they were annoyed with each other, but they're both a bunch of clowns because throughout the whole time they were just laughing like hyenas, you know. And they're like, no, I mean, like, no, there was no, I mean, that was complete bugged out, you know, right there, you know, that was a complete waste of time, because who the hell is going to learn anything from that, you know, these dudes both laughing like hyenas, you know, like what kind of, I mean, hey, there's a time and place for that, but when you're teaching about the Lord and the scriptures, the sheep really want to learn, you know, because, hey, man, ICBMs are on its way, full lockdowns, guillotines, people's heads are about to get chopped off, and you're laughing like hyenas. Nate, you're over there buying land in America? The hell is the matter with you? You know? You guys are going all the way off. Not even just a little bit. You're going all the way. You know? The hell? Huh? Damn. You know, but hey, man. You know, but that just goes to show you that this is why the apostles and elders say that from GMS say it's a waste of time, because look at that. I mean, there was no edification came out of that, you know. So, and that there be no division among you, right? So if there's somebody in the truth, okay, somebody in the group like who just barely came in and he don't agree, you gotta get that person out of there, okay? Because that there be no division among you, because you can't have somebody next to you say, well, I don't agree with that. Well, then you're not a part of us, brother. Okay? It's just like that. It's just like that. All right? That's the thing. You know, you're not rolling with the Lord, his hopeful elect. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number, you know? But I believe, you know? I don't know if I'll make it, but I'm with it. You know, I believe. You know, I'm convinced, but I don't know. You know, I don't know if I'm chosen, but I know I've been called because hey, I'm teaching this word, you know? But that's the thing. See, so this is just to show you guys out there, and that there be no divisions among you. Yeah, so if someone don't agree, you got to get them out of there. Okay, you can't say like them, like no, hey, remember, like no, it's not gonna jive. This is talking about the Lord here. Okay, all right. Imagine like in football. Okay, you have like everybody agrees with the same play, but you have two guys that are running the wrong play. You know. And they're like, no. Imagine they say, okay, well, let's run this play. All right, ready, break. And then the other two guys say, no, we're gonna do our own thing. Fuck that. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. Okay? Imagine that. So you're gonna lose that ball game, or you're gonna get benched. See? So you have to you have to speak the same thing. You got, you have to You gotta come in the right way. There's no. It's just the way it is. Because you're being lukewarm, and the Lord's gonna spew you out of His mouth, and that there be no divisions among you. So right there, you can't be over there with the heathen and all that. Okay, remember, Saint Matthew, the Lord said, go not to the way of the Gentiles. Why? Because exactly that reason. And remember, in the beginning of this lesson, the Edomite, he's like, no, I don't believe it, because that wasn't me 600 years ago. It was you. There's something called reincarnation. But these Edomites, they don't believe that. But they're going to learn. Okay? But that's all right. It's all right that they say, well, I be damned. Well, you are damned. But, we don't need to, we're just going to tell you once and that's it. Because remember, the Lord, Yahweh Shai, He's right around the corner. And the angels are already here. So we can give a damn what you say, and you world leaders out there. You guys are all a bunch of clowns at the end of the day. You guys are all a bunch of queers. I heard about what you queers do in Dubai. You guys are despicable. But that's all right, hey, man. Hey, you guys are something else. Huh? You heathens are out of control, man. Damn. But, hey, that's all right. That's why the heathens, the Edomites, you guys are going to be humbled. See, because they're not going to believe right now. See, because he goes, oh, no, I'm not going to. Yeah, because they're not. Because who wants to give up their power? But this is why the Israelites, starting with, Yahweh Shai, King David, the 12 and the 144, are going to humble you. Yep. Oh, hell yeah. Shit, yeah. It's just like anything else, So they have to be humbled, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind. See? So well, I don't believe that. Well, then that means you don't believe. See? Just, it's either you're in this thing or you're out. This is why Yahweh Shai said, okay, either you're with me or you're against me. Ain't no wall, just, I kind of agree with what you're saying, brother, but I don't believe in the spaceships. Well, then you don't believe. Because either you're in or you're not. Okay? It's like, well, I don't believe that the MOTB is the RFID microchip. Well, then we'll see you on the other side. And we completely understand. Because you're not part of the hopeful elect. Because if you're part of the hopeful elect, you're going to get it one way or another. Okay, you're going to understand? You're going to understand, baby. See? Ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind, in the same judgment. See? Because the hopeful elect, okay, are all waiting for the same thing. Are waiting for Yahweh Shai to get here and to destroy the wicked, including the 2/3 of our people, and to put the Edomites and heathens in slavery. See? Okay, right here, Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Right. Because did not the heathen and all the heathen, not just the Edomites, because we get on the so-called white man a lot, but because you're there, you're ruling the world right now. Okay, the Lord gave you temporary rulership. But this is why there's things that you don't understand. If you guys are gods, then explain those ships. If you guys are gods, see, explain those spaceships. Anybody out there, can anybody explain those ships? If you guys are gods, anybody, to the leaders of the United States, FBI, CIA, KGB, MI6, Russia, let's hear it. China. Is there anyone out there who can explain them? Don't worry, we're waiting. Is there anybody out there? You can't. The Space Force, NASA, let's hear it. Any one of you guys? Let's hear it. You can't. Alright? Because you're not gods. You're just men. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity. You remember 1619, the transatlantic slave trade? Alright? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword. So captivity, slavery. See, because a lot of the heathen, because you guys you've been so comfortable ruling for a long time. The Lord's long suffering, remember that. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And you guys already know how the so-called white man took America, okay, by rape, robbery, and murder. That's fine. But you know, you killed with the sword, you're gonna go down by the sword, partner. Real bad too. But remember, you're gonna go down by angelic forces. You know, it's gonna get, man. You know, remember, you don't have to worry about like, oh well, you know, the wicked, this and that. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. You know, there's no teams, no military intelligence that can step up to the angels and the 144, and especially Yahweh Shai. Okay, they're all about to get their asses kicked beyond. We're talking bad, you know, very bad. Why do you think these leaders and the dukes are going to their underground cities? Yeah, they know. Yeah, they're gonna build AI and machines, but come on, you know, don't even start, Esau. You know, yeah, that's powerful to this world. But remember, the angels are coming from a whole nother dimension. All right, you're talking about the Lord. You're fighting against the Lord, the Creator. Come on, man. You know, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Because this is what the elect are waiting for. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. And let's get the point here. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Check this out. So remember that little Edomite in the beginning of the lesson? All right. And we're not gonna spend too much attention on them. We're just gonna point something out. Because remember, they don't know the scriptures, you know? And they don't realize that there is a God out there. All right, so they just think in their mind like, oh, we're not gonna pay for that. That's ridiculous, you know. That wasn't even me. Why, it was you. But you don't understand prophecy. You don't understand the scriptures. Remember, you are a cave dweller. Yeah, you may be ruling right now. You may have money, but that don't mean shit. You have a green piece of paper. Remember, you're not a god, and you can't leave this planet. All right, you know. You don't think you can? Ask CIA. Tell them if anyone can leave this planet. Ask them. You know. Yeah, they may say, oh yeah, these guys are losers. Well, we got the truth. You know, you can call us whatever you want, but we got the truth, baby. Shit. You know, that's something that you guys out there gotta understand. You know, it don't matter what our enemies say. Yeah, they can make fun of us, whatever. Remember, our enemies, they can't even compare anything close to the angels. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Check this out. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Right, because what did that Edomite say? He goes, I'm sorry to tell you, he goes, unless someone was 500 or 600 years old, but that wasn't me. Well, okay, you got to pay for the way of your forefathers, and for a lot of you Edomites, you are back in the reincarnation. You don't even realize that. All right, and there's no use going back and forth with the Edomite because they're not going to believe it. You know, but this is why we're teaching you Israelites, because this is the mystery. It's the secrets. See, because although the heathen roll their eyes and laugh like, oh, these guys are losers. Remember, the spaceships are still right there. All right, those ICBMs are being ready. You know, Trump's getting them ready. Putin's getting them ready. You know why? Because the Lord's having them get them ready. Those are the Lord's missiles. Remember, the Lord controls all these leaders. Okay, China's getting them ready. North Korea's getting the ICBMs ready. Okay, why is there the arms race? Because the Lord's going to have these heathens X each other out by ICBMs. Okay, also the AI, that's all to bring in the RFID microchip. Remember, as soon as you bring that in, Yahweh Shai is going to crack them clouds. Remember, this is chess, it's not checkers. But remember, the heathens are so retarded, you know? But that's because they can't get it. And that's okay. This is why you can't go back and forth with the heathen, because they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. But they don't have to get it. You just got to know this is what the Lord's saying. All right? Because it don't matter. They can say that, oh, you're a retard, and I don't believe that. Romans 3:3. So what if they not believe? It's not going to change a damn thing. The spaceships are still right there. Just ask the leaders of the U.S. military. They'll tell you how real it is? Huh, Trump? It's real, right? Nero Caesar, and you're back too, Trump. You know, hey, you're Nero Caesar back in the flesh. You know, that's right. Yep, damn right. See, everybody's back. Everybody's back. Everybody's back in their lots. All the prophets are back. Jeremiah's back. Isaiah's back. Everybody's here. They're all here. That's the 144,000. Okay, remember what Moses did to ancient Egypt. Now there's just not one Moses. There's 144,000 Moseses. Imagine all around the world that are about to jack this place up. Huh? Yup. Imagine. You see? Huh? He split the Red Sea by the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So can you imagine 144,000? You know, Moses is on the earth right now. You know. See, it's about to go down out here. It's about to go down out here. Isaiah chapter. Why do you think our enemies, they have the man of the Lord on 24-hour watch? Because they're nervous. They know, like, oh shit. Because they know the top leaders, they know that the power is real. Because they know what it is. Okay, they know, and they're afraid. They're like, shit. The house of David, once they're activated, that's it. You know. See. So this is why they're nervous. They're nervous. Shit. They're biting their nails, baby. You know. That's why the Lord said, don't worry about it. Just relax. The Lord said, I got them. Don't worry about them. Let them talk shit. You know? You know, you're so nervous, but yet you're watching them. But yet, the men of the Lord are losers and insignificant. But yet, you got militaries and agents watching them 24 hours. But yet, they're losers. And they don't know what they're talking about. But yet, you got professionals watching them 24 hours. Why? Uh-huh. Shetos. Exactly. Why? Huh? If they're so insignificant. Because why would you be paying teams to watch an individual who's a loser, who's insignificant? Exactly. Because that power exists, baby. And the top leaders of this world, they know this and they're scared. It's a silent war going on right now. Remember that. Because they're trying to destroy the 144. They can't. They're trying everything, you know? And it's funny as hell because and that's what's, they could talk shit all they want, but remember, because you guys on the left-hand side, you're actually trying. The men of the Lord are just sitting there, you know? See that? And you guys are actually trying. That's the funny thing, because you can talk shit all you want, the left-hand side, but you're actually trying to kill them, and you can't. Remember, you're actually trying. The men of the Lord are just sitting there. Imagine? And you call yourself God? So how about when the men of the Lord, when they get their green light and they come at you? Damn. And you're telling me you guys are not retards? Anyway, Isaiah chapter 14 verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Slaughter. Slavery. See? So that is a point to prove to that Edomite. He don't know what he's talking about. That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities, because they're going to captivity. And Esau, once Yahushua gets here, that's it. You're finished. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying to let you know that, yeah, these heathens, they don't know the scriptures. They don't understand it, and they're not going to understand it. Okay, they're not going to get it. This is exactly why Apostle Har says it's a complete waste of time, especially with the heathen. Because the 2/3, they're not going to get it. Remember, the angels have to open up your mind to get it. It's this is divine intervention. This is very serious. This is very, very serious. You know, this is why if somebody's trying to get it, they're trying to learn, then yeah, that's different, because they're trying to be sincere and they get it. It's different. But when someone just don't get it, you can't really do nothing with them. You know, you can tell them maybe a few times, but if the Lord's not going to wake them up, the Lord's not going to wake them up. It don't matter how bad you want it. Remember, the Lord's elect are the Lord's elect. They're not your elect. They're the Lord's elect. And and the more you understand that, the better off you're going to be. So with that, Lord willing, you guys learned a little something from that lesson today. All right. You know, keep your head up. And remember that the Lord's right here and the Lord's in control. All right. Just put your seatbelt on and let the Lord drive, baby. All right. The Lord's in control. trust in him. Have faith, be not weary. Pray. On your feet, soldier, keep the faith, stay patient, and remember, the kingdom of heaven's at hand. On your feet, soldier. Shalom.